Hello everyone, welcome to the Smashy Business Show. My name is Abdul Majid Awan and I am with...
And I'm Ward Ahmed.
Yeah, hello, and it's Thursday, March 13th, 2025 today, and we're looking forward to a good show today.
We have insane topics today. So number one, Abu Dhabi's MGX has invested $2 billion into the world's biggest crypto exchange, Binance. Secondly, Saudi-owned Scopely has acquired Pokémon Go in a $3.5 billion gaming deal. Make energy great again. And that is what the UAE Minister has told the world at CERAWeek 2025.
And stay with us till the end of the show because we have a guest today. And also we're going to talk about something that Word will love to talk about, that's Sephora. And we're going to explain you what experience economy is and how recently Sephora used their Sephoria event in Dubai. It was the first time that Sephoria happened in Dubai. So we'll tell you how experience economy and their event matches together and how they used it. So first of all, the very first story, Abu Dhabi backed investor, which is MGX, which is a combination of Mubadala and G42. We'll explain you who they are. They have bought into Binance a $2 billion transaction. So that's what's happening. The main thing that I've realized about MGX is that it's one of the biggest stars in the world right now, and it's a very major boost for Binance. Abu Dhabi-backed investment group MGX putting $2 billion in a cryptocurrency investment firm, and it's the world's largest crypto exchange, also Binance. And the deal, which Binance has labeled as its first institutional investment, marks one of the largest ever investments in the crypto industry. And MGX will become a minority shareholder in Binance now, after making this investment using a stable coin.
Was the amount shared?
No, they didn't share the amount, and it's a type of currency, stable coin, which is pegged to fiat currencies like dollar, dirhams, maybe real someday. It's still not.
Now, while the financial scale of the investment is clear, clearly the details remain scarce. Now, a Binance spokesperson declined to comment on the exact size of MGX's size. However, there will be more to come in the future, and we'll find out more.
Yeah, and the specific government's rights, whatever will happen, we'll know soon. But Binance, it was founded in 2017 in China by Changpeng Zhao, CZ, famously known, was in jail recently, just came out like 4 or 5 months ago. And Binance quickly grew to dominate the global crypto trading market. However, CZ pleaded guilty to violating US anti-money laundering laws and served time in jail last year. Following his departure, Richard Teng, he is now the CEO and he is in Dubai and he's running Binance from here. And he's the former head of Abu Dhabi's Financial Services Authority as well. And now he's running Binance. Really interesting to know that. And he took over as Binance CEO after CZ pleaded guilty. And since then, Binance has been actively expanding its footprint in the UAE, especially with around 1,000 of its 5,000 total employees now in UAE. Yeah.
And this marks MGX's first public venture into crypto. So after being established about just a year ago with the goal of accelerating AI and advanced technology adoption through strategic partnerships, the firm has also invested in OpenAI and Elon Musk's XAI, reinforcing its commitment to disruptive technologies. Ahmed Yahya, managing director and CEO of MGX, stated that the investment in Binance reflects MGX's belief in blockchain's transformative potential for digital finance.
And at the heart of MGX's strategy is His Highness Sheikh Tanoon bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the UAE's national security advisor and the brother of the UAE ruler, President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed. MGX operates in partnership with Mubadala, Abu Dhabi's $330 billion state-owned wealth fund, and with the UAE actively working to attract top digital asset firms, this move signals a broader push towards cementing the country's status as a leading player in blockchain and crypto.
And the cryptocurrency has experienced such a strong comeback after the turmoil of 2022, when a series of collapses and scandals had shaken investor confidence. Now Bitcoin has reached all new time highs, buoyed by the return of Donald Trump, who has embraced such a pro-crypto stance as we've seen. And with MGX's massive investments, Binance, it's only going to gain further legitimacy. And the reason why this is so true is because just very recently, we've seen the $4 billion Stargate project that's
500 billion, sorry.
Oh,
500 billion Stargate. MGX wants to invest nearly 100 billion and all that. But recently we saw that because of Trump, the cryptocurrency also took a nosedive. You did a story yesterday that his policies are affecting the Gulf market as well.
Yeah, they're affecting everything.
Yeah.
So
yesterday,
essentially yesterday what happened is that Khalaf al-Habtoor, the Emirati billionaire, and also the founder of Al-Habtoor Group, and basically they own a lot of things. So they also own Al-Habtoor Motors, which is basically which owns the franchise and the right to operate Mitsubishi Motors and Bentley here. They used to operate Rolls-Royce, but then they gave it away. But point is, Khalaf al-Habtoor, he came and said that there's this genuine crisis in the American economy, and he was almost condemning Trump for his behavior, because he said that this is all due to the random tariffs, the confusion, and he was indeed right, because when we actually took a look at the markets, what we found was that on Dubai Financial Market, CBD, Commercial Bank of Dubai, was down.
Yeah.
It was, and that's an extremely big company. That's an extremely big bank. And then on Tadawul was trading in the red region. So they were not, the percentage was not too high, the negative percentage, but they were still trading in red. And then what else was there?
ADX.
Yeah,
ADX thankfully had alpha data, which came recently, like 3 days ago they listed. So yeah, AGX was doing
their
good.
IPO saved them.
So yeah, a lot of things are happening in this region, and we'll talk about it. But this investment is very big. Second story of the day is of another acquisition. Saudi-owned Scopely has acquired Pokémon Go, which is one of the most famous games I remember when it launched, and they are willing to pay $3.5 billion. It's going to be a big gaming deal. So Saudi Arabia's gaming empire obviously became bigger. Scopely is a company which is under Savvy Games Group, which was bought by Saudi PIF for $4.9 trillion. It's very complicated when you go deep into PIF's investments. And they have acquired the Pokemon Go title, but overall they've acquired Niantic as a company, and Niantic has multiple games in it. And the most important and the most viral game, if you want to talk about Scopely, is Monopoly Go. It's one of the biggest hits of which came out of Savvy Games Group, which then bought Niantic now. Very complicated. But Financial Times and a lot of other publications reported this yesterday. 2-3 months ago, we also reported on it that it is happening, but now finally it's taken place. And Pokemon Go, which became a global sensation in 2016, so specifics, continues to be a top grossing mobile game, generating over $1 billion in revenue last year, and with 30 million monthly active users. So it has
it's Pokemon.
Yeah, it's Pokemon Go. This acquisition expands Scopely's reach, added to its success with Monopoly Go, and now they have Pokemon Go, and maybe they'll have more Go games. So yeah.
But Majid, it's not just Pokemon here.
Yeah.
It's Saudi Arabia. It's Saudi Arabia. They want to dominate absolutely every single
Wherever they
sector.
go, they want to dominate.
This is not just about acquiring a game. It's a part of Saudi Arabia's broader $40 billion gaming strategy. Now, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman made this very clear. The kingdom wants to become a global gaming hub. The goal, 250 gaming companies and 39,000 new jobs by 2030. Now, Savvy Games Group has already made big moves with this by acquiring stakes in Nintendo, EA, Activision Blizzard, and Take-Two Interactive. And now, by securing Pokemon Go, Saudi Arabia is solidifying its dominance in mobile gaming, one of the fastest growing segments in the industry. And you know what I think is also really interesting about the story, Majid? Is I've noticed that whenever they go after anything, they always go after the best in the field.
Yeah.
They always go after the best. Okay, we're going to invest in a game. Let's invest in and Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
We're going to invest in an airport. Let's
Yeah.
go to one of the famous airports in the world, Heathrow Airport.
Yeah.
So I'm sort of seeing a trend here, and
Yeah, and the thing is that they're not just signing deals because they can. The thing is they're looking very strategically at companies which are ready to sell as well. The research that goes behind and the sources they need to have, like for example, Niantic is going towards AI now. That is why they're trying to sell their games division. And the company, once seen as the leader in augmented reality games, so Pokemon is an augmented reality. You can see the real world and catch Pokemons in the real world. And they're pivoting towards AI. And with the sale of Pokemon Go, Niantic is launching Niantic Spatial, a new unit focused on geospatial AI. In very simple terms, they want to create maps. So a technology that would revolutionize smart glasses, robotics, and next generation mapping. So we've seen that Apple. Meta recently launched their glasses Orion, and every new thing which is based on augmented reality will need geospatial mapping, like the world that you move around in. And they want to move into that now. They want to move away from gaming. So Saudi Arabia, very strategically, they knew, and then they were like, okay, they'll be willing to sell. And somehow this deal finalized. And it suggests that AR gaming has peaked. AI-driven experiences are the future.
And so what's next? What is Scopely trying to do next? So they're actually expected to further expand their mobile gaming empire by leveraging Pokemon Go's really famous fan base to drive revenue. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia's gaming ambitions will only grow more, with Riyadh set to host the first ever Olympics esports games in 2027. As for Niantic, its pivot to AI could have far-reaching implications, not just for gaming, but for autonomous vehicles, smart cities, and next-gen digital experiences. There is one thing that's clear here. Any industry that they want to walk into, they want to own. But imagine, like, just on the topic of Saudi and all of these investments, it's not just their large businesses, I believe, that are doing great. It's not just PIF, their sovereign wealth fund, that's doing amazing. It's also their startups, their small businesses. You know that in 2024, I believe that startups in Saudi Arabia, they actually were able to get almost $700 million in funding. $700 million in funding. All startups in Saudi Arabia. And, we just heard that this startup, Aya, so basically they have a platform and it's for modest fashion. They just raised $1.6 million in pre-seed funding. So it's great to see that it's not just the big businesses doing great in Saudi, it's also the small businesses. And what's so crazy about Aya is that Aya was founded in June 2024.
Oh, recently. Nice.
That is so recent.
Not even a year, right?
And they're getting $1.6 million in funding.
Nice.
It will be really interesting to see how far they go with that. But anyways, moving to the third topic of the day, make energy great again. That is what the UAE Minister has told the world at CERAWeek 2025.
And ADNOC's international investment arm, which is XRG, and which was recently launched. Again, we talked about Aya, that it's a recent startup. XRG is a recent fund, investment company that ADNOC has created. And they want to make significant investment in US natural gas and in the coming months. That is what Sultan Al Jaber, Dr. Sultan Al Jaber actually, he's the chief head, everything of ADNOC. He said that, and XRG has $80 billion in assets right now, and they want to invest across the entire gas supply chain, and from exploration to distribution to everything. They want to do that through XRG. And CEO Sultan Al Jaber, he recently was speaking at CERAWeek. I was telling her that it's really interesting that it's called the oil man's Davos. So we have a Davos in the desert, which is FII. We have the original Davos, which happens in Switzerland. And then we have now a new thing, oil man's Davos. And that's happening. And he said very interesting thing, make energy great again, turns into mega. But we saw throughout Trump's election, and now even, he has this MAGA theory, make America great again. And he said, make energy great again, because he was in US, and why not?
I see
Why
what
not
you mean.
give it a spin of his own?
And the UAE's move here, it signals toward a shift that global energy is going to dominate soon, and as the demand for oil and gas continues to rise. And this investment comes as Trump reverses Biden-era energy policies, encouraging maximum production in the U.S. Now, Jabir highlights increasing global energy demand, with oil consumption projected to hit 109 million BPD by 2035, and power demand surging 70%. Now, we can see that as, the energy needs are more. What is it because of? It's because of AI.
Yeah.
More people want to use AI.
Yeah.
AI has become the center stage of all of our lives.
And AI are run on data centers, and data centers need water, cooling, energy. So yeah, eventually, he's right. If you look at the numbers and the demands and the projected demands in the future. So expect ADNOC's SRG. It's reportedly by Reuters. They're saying that XRG will be listed. It will also go for an IPO, but they're planning an IPO outside of the UAE. So most probably in US because they're trying to invest in US more. We also talked about them trying to buy gas fields, remember, two or 3 days ago, that they're trying to acquire gas fields in the US. So most probably XRG may be listed there. Still reports, not confirmation.
And they have stakes, I believe, in companies in Texas.
Yeah. So they're going to announce major deals as soon as CERAWeek ends on 14th March. It started on 10th March. And potential IPO could reshape the global energy investment landscape. And Dr. Jabir's push for realism in climate talks may influence future global energy policies. Word talked about Trump reversing the Biden-era policies. You remember? You told me that Trump pulled out of the Paris Agreement, which is one of the biggest agreement in terms of sustainability.
Oh yeah, it was microeconomics, so strategic interaction and strategic complementary, and how all these countries are just constantly reacting to each other. But earlier on the opening day of CERAWeek on March 10. So basically 3 days ago, the Aramco CEO, Amin Nasser, dismissed current energy transition plans as unrealistic, saying there's no chance of Elvis Presley speaking than them succeeding. He basically criticized premature shifts to immature alternatives like green hydrogen, arguing they have failed to meet global energy demand. Now, Nasser called for continued investment in fossil fuels, emphasizing that new energy sources can complement but not replace them. He urged deregulation and unbiased financing to ensure sufficient investment in all energy sources, including oil and gas. Now, despite advocating for fossil fuels, Aramco invested $50 billion in energy projects last year, with plans to develop solar and wind energy by 2030.
Yeah. So let's come out of so much money, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think
it's too much money going in too many places, right? It's just billions and billions going into gaming and oil and this deal and that deal.
You know what I'm honestly thinking about right now, Majid? Do you remember when Qatar had called out the EU?
Yeah.
It called out the European Union because basically what the European Union was doing is, they were buying liquid natural gas, LNG, from Qatar, but they were also taxing them for it.
5% extra.
Yeah, so it was basically a part of their net zero policy where, okay, if you're selling us something, but to sell us this product, you're making the product using unsustainable practices that are bad for the environment. We're going to impose a 5% tax on you. And I think when we take a look at this, I remember I was very judgmental of the European Union. I was very judgmental because I was like, how are you going to bite the hand that's feeding you? But if you actually think about it, it's needed. It is needed. Someone has to, so
police everything.
I think especially with climate change, we're seeing oil, energy. It's all going to become more important than it already is. I definitely don't think that everyone's going to be an electric vehicle. By the way, you won't catch me in a Tesla.
Yeah.
I'm good. By the way, people have charging challenges with it.
Yeah.
Charging is actually still an issue, even here in the UAE.
Yeah.
Like I have a friend, she has a Tesla, and sometimes when she knows like she has a long drive to like AD and back,
She'll take the petrol car?
She'll take another car from the family. So it's like charging is still. I don't know if people are ready to embrace it. Are you ready to embrace an electric vehicle?
Well, Tesla is good. It's a little boring for me. I don't know. I don't like a Tesla. It's just like a little boring. I would obviously prefer a petrol someday if I can afford it. But yeah, the main idea is, CERAWeek is very important event. As soon as it ends, we'll do a big summary on whatever happened there. All the international deals, there's a lot happening there. And it's, to be honest, it decides the future for the next year till, again, it happens. And a lot of things that I was reading about it, a lot of countries are making deals with each other on the basis of fossil fuel. Someone wants to create an oil field here, someone wants to help the other company because they're good at extraction and they're not good at it. The main idea is that the world is moving back to fossil fuels. Because as Aramco CEO said, and I think he is an authority because he's the Aramco CEO, that you can use sustainable energy like wind, solar, all these things as complementary, but right now completely going zero on fossil fuels and completely adopting renewable energy is impossible. The world is not ready for it. The infrastructure is not ready for it. So yeah, you have to understand both sides of the story. So I think let's see what happens at the end of it. Maybe we'll see some policy being signed, but UAE, to be honest, has a very good 2030 net zero strategy and 2050 net zero strategy as well.
You can see it in the roads.
Yeah.
Honestly, the roads, they tell a story of their own.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of things are happening in this field, sustainability. Stay tuned. We'll keep telling you. But let's move on to our segment, which we've recently started. Today is day 2, and we'll talk about Sephora. Sephora is one of the places where whenever I go to a mall, my wife enters and then forgets that I exist. So yeah, in November 2024, Sephora hosted its inaugural Sephoria event in Dubai. And it was a milestone for the Middle East because this is the first time that this Sephoria event, which is like a wordplay on euphoria, has come to the Middle East, and it was held between November 6 and 8 at the Coca-Cola Arena. And it was an immersive beauty festival, had 6,000 attendees, and they transformed the whole venue into something really beautiful, kind of a beauty wonderland.
It was very beautiful. And
Did you
so
go?
I didn't go, but my sister went.
Oh,
and
nice.
now the event actually featured 60 interactive brands. Obviously, you have Rare Beauty by Selena Gomez and Fenty by Rihanna. But this event, Majid, there were very famous makeup artists all the way from the US who flew out for it. So you had like makeup by Mario, Monica Tan was there. My sister did go, and she actually, basically, you could depending on the ticket that you purchased, they'll give you like a really big goodie bag, and it had like so many things. So
Free stuff.
I think my sister got Kayali perfume, a Gucci perfume, another perfume. Like it was a lot of stuff. I would not say it's the best things though.
Did she see men there? Because I would love to go and
I
get
don't
a
think
hand
I
tag and give it to my wife.
I don't think I spotted a single man. But what I saw in the videos, what was really funny is the fact that there was a lot of suitcases. Yeah, people were carrying suitcases, which I found absolutely insane.
Yeah.
But this idea of like experience economy, of brands hosting these events, it's so good because what it does is that it's so memorable for the consumer. You're engaging with the consumer, and this is Sephoria. But what we've seen very recently is it's what the Museum of the Future has done.
Yeah.
So the Museum of the Future in Dubai, if you haven't gone, you should. It's really beautiful. What they've done is that they've actually gone to Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
Yep, they've gone to Austin, Texas, in America, and they brought like a bunch of brands with them from the UAE. Dubai's viral chocolate, dear to so many people's heart. You had Project Chai Wala.
Project Chai Wala,
Yeah,
that
Project
was also
Chai
there.
Wala. It was also there.
Yeah,
So
it was really interesting that apart from Fix, other brands were there. Fix was the highlight, right?
Of course.
Everyone talked about only Fix.
By the way, I saw a photo. I feel like we don't give him the credit that he deserves, but we always say that Dubai Viral Chocolate, Dubai Fix, it was founded, a Fix chocolatier, it was founded by Sarah Hamouda. But actually, her husband, I believe his name is Yazid. Is
I
it
don't remember
Yazid
his
or
name.
Yazin?
See, that's
I,
the amount of attraction he got that no one knows his name.
Dubai. No, because you know what I basically saw? He was actually, he was there and he was carrying like boxes of mini Dubai, like mini,
Nice. Mini versions of
yeah,
them.
mini of it, and he was handing it out. He was just walking in the
Nice.
street and he was handing it out, and I thought it was so adorable. I really did, because you know, I love how he's let his wife take all the limelight for the great idea that she came up with.
Yeah.
By the way, I do not doubt the fact that he probably played a very important role in the business, in scaling the business with her. But it's just great how he lets his wife, Sarah, shine, and he's there
Shows
to.
he's a great man, to be honest.
It really does. But honestly, new character discovered that plays a really important
And
role.
so yeah, experience economy is like the fourth stage I was reading about it. It's a very interesting concept because after agrarian, where agriculture was the main part of the economy, and then industry, and then a consumer-based economy, it's like a new concept, experience economy. And a lot of brands which do these kinds of brand activation kind of events. Binance also, yeah, good example. Binance also did it recently. We went there. Covered it. Zen was there, I guess, I remember. And it was, again, all the memes were there. He had so many pictures and videos with all the memes that you see on the internet. So that also happened in Coca-Cola Arena. So they're using this idea to create memories of brands, not just sell products to consumers. So yeah, just keep an eye out for this concept, and we'll keep entertaining you with all these new things. And yeah, stay with us. Yeah. We'll be
Please
back
stay
in a
with
minute.
us. We'll be back in a minute. We have a really special interview with the founder and CEO of Lios International. Welcome back. Today we're joined by Rui Liu, the CEO and founder of Lios International, a leading luxury development company with a strong presence in the UK, the UAE, and globally. Over the past 11 years, Ray has successfully steered Lios International towards rapid growth, specializing in residential-led mixed-use developments that blend innovation and architectural excellence. With 7 successful projects in the UAE and a bold $7 billion investment fund set to launch new developments, Ray continues to redefine luxury living, and we're so excited to hear his insights into the future of real estate and his journey in shaping Lios International's success. Thank you so much for coming today. We're so excited to have you. How are you doing today?
Thank you very much. I'm doing great. Yeah, thank you so much.
And just to start, we want to ask you, what inspired you to start Lios Developments, and how did your journey begin?
Sure. So all the journey began from since 2012, and so I since then I was started from by myself, and my background, I'm a UK qualified architect.
Nice.
So that was at that period of time, because I've been in the industry for a while, so I realized there's a significant gap between the real estate capital world and the actual design and how this connect with the market. So that's where all the story started.
So, Rui, can you tell us about the first project that really put Lios on the map?
Sure. So I would say there's like 3 phases for the Lios development in the past history. So the first significant project was actually the one in East London. So that was back to 2015. And because we tried the new concept of what we call as a design integrated design system, and so apply this to the development world. And so that was the first trial project. And since then was actually quite successful. So then it's come to a slightly larger one. That's the second phase as another milestone project in Weybridge, in the United Kingdom as well, in Surrey actually. So yeah. So these 2 are pretty significant for us. So come to UAE, that's phase 3.
Oh.
Yeah.
UAE was phase 3.
UAE phase 3.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I just want to ask, is there like a special motivator, a special reason behind why you started all of it? Like, what really motivates you?
Yeah, I think what motivates me is I'm a true lover of a good design product. And in our company, one of the vision is we strongly believe everyone deserves a better life. And also, people keep talking about luxury and high quality product, high-end products. But what's the definition of that? I think that need to be redefined through technology change, through the society change. So yeah, we carry that as a very important mission for us.
Yeah. So, is there any secret recipe for success with real estate? Obviously, real estate in Dubai right now is great, but you've been working in real estate in other countries. What's the secret success? Do you give good building, good design, good amenities? What do you think is the secret sauce from your brain, like your experience?
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's always an interesting question because, you know, first of all, it's difficult to define success.
Oh yeah.
As real estate is such a vast industry, so people got different views and visions. But for us, we strongly think, you know, design should be the things to drive all the different steps. And from a plot which you got nothing, and then later on create this masterpiece of architecture where contains, you know, thousands or, you know, over hundreds of thousands of people's daily life. So that's a very big mission. So I think it's the important thing is how to make sure the blueprint to the reality always keep a certain amount of precision. So it's that's sort of the precise transformation is always something we've been looking for and we've been exploring. Yeah.
And you know, can you share more details about the $7 billion investment fund Lia's International announced? You know, what are your goals for this fund?
Yeah. So last October, we did two big major movements. First of all, is we transferred our global headquarters to Dubai, so which has been the past 10 years always been United Kingdom in London. So yeah, it was a very big movement. Obviously, there's the resource movement. There are, you know, our people as well, who some of them actually never ever been to Dubai, and as soon as they came here, everyone loves it, right? So that's great. That's a great thing. So as a leader of the company, you know, I don't have to do much sort of works to convince them. But most significantly is we do want to be part of the most exciting urbanization in the contemporary world, which is obviously Dubai is the number one city in the world. So, and come back to this 7 billion funds that we put a strategic plan that launched the series of the projects, which focus on community, particularly, for example, you know, master plans and for certain townhouse and villa project, which we have launched also 2 projects last year as well.
Nice.
So yeah, we hope this can carry on, and which is not only covers real estate development, but also we explore tech and how real estate tech, developing. So we currently prepare a AI lab, which gonna be the cross-border collaborations. Actually, I just done a 4 weeks tour in US, so we had some investment in US, and now we expanding from that angle as well. So what I find the chemistry actually happened in a very interesting way that between the East and the Western world were meet in Dubai, and where the technology, urbanization, and the people all carry together.
What was the most interesting thing to see when you came to Dubai? Like you must have been before, but your colleagues and the people that work for you.
Yeah.
What was the most interesting thing? I think for me it was the sun. Like if you come from UK, I think it's the sun. You have more sun here.
Yeah.
But was there anything else that you guys saw in Dubai which was like different from UK?
Yeah. So that's interesting because the first time I came to Dubai was actually 2008.
Nice.
So that period I was finished I was doing architecture school. So I came here because through an invitation of a classmate.
Nice.
By the time, to be honest, I didn't know much about Dubai. I still remember the scene that I was on the plane before the plane was landing. I saw like a Burj Khalifa.
Oh, okay.
By the time I didn't know what it's called, but it looks amazing and obviously still under construction. But then surrounded it mostly are the sand, right?
Yeah.
Then afterwards, I came back. I think 2016, 2017 already. In between,
8
there
years
was a
later.
significant changes. Yeah. Obviously, market has been experiencing a very up and down period.
Yeah.
And then, as a businessman, I came back then fully again in 22. I saw wow, and before that there was already a long period of observations and exploration of the market. So this time we significantly realized that the most important thing is actually the economic power of the city. Yeah, through this fast
People have money in
urbanization.
Dubai and they're ready to spend it.
And we're ready to spend as well.
You're ready
right?
to spend
so,
it.
Yeah, but spending money and money, I think, is important. But I think the most important thing is, I think, the city's energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what are you guys planning to do with this energy? You know, what's Leos Developments planning to launch next year?
Yeah. So next year, I would say this year, right? This year or next year?
Next year.
Okay,
this
next
year.
year.
But tell us about this year too.
Exactly. So let's say next probably 12 to 18 months. Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's how we always plan ourselves. So this year, we very soon we launch another 3 projects.
Nice.
So that's we talk about Q1, Q2. And for this year, the other half of the year, we are preparing a few landmark projects. So, and the more sort of a mixed use, the community type of projects as well.
Nice.
Yeah. And that's not only in Dubai, we also start stepping into other Emirates as well.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And there's some unique aspects of Weybridge Gardens 4s and
That's
Kensington Gardens.
Yeah.
Shed some light on it.
Sure, sure.
Is they are luxury projects, if I'm not wrong, or they're not luxury projects, they're mixed use?
Yeah.
You just said that you want to develop something different, mixed use,
Yeah.
community based.
Yeah.
What are they about?
Yeah. So Weybridge Gardens, actually, there's 2 types of projects.
Okay.
So from sort of architecture or project typology point
Yeah.
of view. So Weybridge Gardens is obviously it's a vertical building. So we
Nice.
create a vertical community in Dubai land, which is one of the most fast-growing community currently in Dubai. So what we called that one is more sort of affordable luxury. As what I mentioned earlier, we strongly believe everyone deserves a better lifestyle.
Yeah.
So one of the core values for us is to bring in all the worldwide best type of luxury lifestyles which we have been through. So from Europe, from US, from other Asian countries, then put them using the project as a device to put them into Dubai.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's Weybridge Gardens 4, and before that, why it's called 4? Because we have already successfully launched 3 of them, and then this series is likely to be carried on as well. And another one, Kensington Gardens, obviously the name has been heavily inspired by the Kensington Gardens in London,
Yeah.
one of the most important gardens in UK or maybe even the world. So the idea of that is to bring the green, to bring all the landscapings, to bring the good British lifestyle into Dubai as a luxury community. Strategic location of that project is very key as well. So it's between Dubai Land and Silicon Oasis.
Oh, nice.
So as one of the most promising communities also in Dubai's near future cityscapes.
But what makes you guys so unique? You know, what makes you so promising and different than other people?
Yeah, I think the very key part is we like to keep challenging ourselves. As you might notice that from project to project, we always try different design with different methodologies of engineering the building. Part of the important reason is obviously I'm an architect and our team, the core team, has been formed with a very strong background of a group of engineers. So we don't treat these as a project. We just treat it every time it's a journey. It's a very fun journey. So as a developer myself, it's I think the destiny for developer is through the city's completion, you complete yourself as well. Yeah, lots of unknown things I learned from the journey. So every day is a learning curve.
Nice. You
Yeah.
said you're an architect, mainly, and you have a group of engineers.
Yeah.
So, a very interesting question popped up in my mind. Do you have like this design clash? It's always there, right?
Yeah.
I know one of my wife's sister is an architect,
Okay.
and whenever we talk about some house being built in Pakistan, she has like this problem. No, engineers want it like this, but I think the design-wise, this will look good. And how do you play it out? Like, it's a very good argument to have, right? Between engineers who actually build and the architects who like come up with the whole idea. Yeah,
that's a very interesting. Actually, I've been asked that many times in my life, because everybody know that all my friends and all the business associates knows that I'm an architect and developer both. So there's always a gap between, let's say, so-called developer as a client.
Yeah.
So clients and the designer engineers, as the people who create the projects, and also there's end user, right? So these two parties put a project together and hopefully, which is the end user, the market, gonna accept it, right? So these three things form the triangle, need to reach to a harmony or the balance. Otherwise, the project couldn't happen, right? So I think back to the question is always, architects like to full of the ideas and the creativities, but then engineers always tell them to slow down because of the structural, feasibilities. And come to clients, they always get upset because it's over budget, and also, the market changed. And when everybody put a project together after 2 years, then realize actually end user don't like it. There's always a challenge of that. So how we face that problem is the integrated development system. What we have developed is to form the design and the market feedbacks into one portal. So we have this portal system which we've been building in the past 10 years. So always that there's a real time. Now thanks for technology. Very fortunately that through AI, through machine learning, and this process now is actually become very real time. So now the design can be adapted in the way that through the market feedbacks of what's the current trend. For example, while we speak, what people are buying, what people are sort of falling in love with, what type of community they like, what amenity they need. Maybe, for example, Dubai, historically, always the building with a pool, right? But is it enough? You just digging a hole and put the water in. Do we call that as a pool? Or what pool should have as a function, right? So when adults use a pool and when children use a pool, there's always a difference. So it's quite interesting.
And, we want to know, how do you see the future of luxury real estate evolving, especially in regions like the UAE and the UK?
So luxury, I think luxury is a terminology which has been used for decades. So I think, first of all, it's about what's the definition nowadays about luxury, right? So I think other than luxury, these days I like to use a new term. It's called the trendy lifestyle. So what's a trend, right? And back to before we had the smartphone, everyone was talking about luxury as, maybe you have a fancy jewelry, good cars, but the communication and the information exchange are not as frequent as nowadays. But now since the mobile phones, since all the social media, everyone live on social media, right? So luxury means, okay, what is the real time happened, right? People sometimes we learned actually from customers is they like to, for example, clients moving to our new units, they like to show to their family and friends. So that's, think about it, we always ask ourselves a question, right? A real estate product, let's say someone bought a single unit, very possibly that's the most expensive single product one could ever own in his life, right? So it's a big mission. So luxury for us as a developer is, first of all, is a mission. It's what sort of a luxury level suitable for what type of people's lifestyle. Whether you're a single bachelor or you're a new marriage couple or you're a happy family with 2-3 kids. So they want things in different way. So I think that's the first thing. And the second thing is about how luxury actually come back to design, right? People want this, but can they have it, right? And you want a fancy marble, you have to pay for it, right? But do you really need that fancy marble? What this marble gonna bring to your life, right?
You're just going to walk on it and maybe touch it on the wall.
Exactly. So that's why, is when I was in Japan, for example, I find lots of their designs very smart because they, for example, now they put the wall, it's not the traditional wall anymore, right? The wall become like an interface you can touch and feel that can change the ambience and the vibes. So yeah, it's quite interesting actually.
Last question from my side, Rui.
Sure.
One of my friends, you were talking about it and reminds me, one of my friends recently moved to Dubai,
Yeah.
and she is a content creator. And when she looked for properties, she was exactly looking for an aesthetic look in a house. She didn't care about the price she would pay or the rent she would pay. She wanted aesthetics like a good gallery where she could have great lighting for her product.
Yeah.
Do you guys have, by any chance, in the recent past, have thought about it that people, the thing that you said, that people want to show the house?
Yeah.
Do you guys have thought about it that now maybe the houses need to be Instagrammable as well? We've seen it with cafes, shopping malls, they create spots. But do you think the houses, the new buildings, the new places that you make where people will live,
Yeah.
they should be Instagrammable or like social media worthy as well? Does
Yeah.
it seep into your conversations?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're actually right, because the Instagrammable, you know, it's a keyword now. People talk about it, right?
Yeah.
Like everything, you go to a cafe, a certain corner has to look quirky, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, people refuse to pay that actual price for that,
Yeah.
you know, cappuccino. So for us, it's but I don't want to define it as an Instagrammable. I want to kind of, it's like a movie. You have 2-3 key shots or the key moments. The audience would memorize it. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's talk about, like, for example, you go into a real estate's a apartment, for example, right? What's in your memory? Why would you remember this unit?
Maybe
Or-
a good kitchen design, very usable.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe great something, a bedroom which is very nicely made.
Yeah.
Attached, or maybe the closet is great.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
something you
that.
will remember about that.
Exactly, like
Yeah.
you know, the color code.
Yeah, color code.
For example, right?
Yeah.
And back to the conversation, you know, the trendy. What's
Yeah.
a trend?
Yeah.
Right. For example, back to your friends, I think what we define